I'm Dr. Licciardi, Farrah. I'll be your doctor here. I'm really excited to get to know you a little bit and get to understand kind of what's been going on. I know you've been through quite a lot. And yet you have done some tremendous healing lately. And so
I am so excited to be here, and I'm like so grateful to be here. It has been one of the hardest years of my life, to like say the least. And so, where should I begin?
We know that you had given us some background already.
Yeah.
You've struggled with quite a lot of different things over the years. So this is not the first round that you've had with coming to see a psychiatrist.
Yes.
And yet in the last year, it sounds like things, you had a terrible event happen to you. And then the trauma and the PTSD that came after that, there was this described spiraling, really.
Yeah, and spiraling. And compounding events that equally, not as traumatic, but still very negative.
Mm-hmm.
And it really had me wondering, like, what is going on? Why are these events happening? Like, what is this very negative year? It was literally alarming and shocking to my family, my workers, my colleagues, and everyone around. It was really something I never would have thought I would have. Like, I don't know. It's like sometimes your year couldn't get any worse, and you would feel like I found myself praying to just feel good enough to get out of bed. I had severe chronic pain like throughout my whole body. And honestly, if I didn't experience these things, I would have never believed that our bodies could go through so much trauma or severe pain or just like lack of mobility and like stuffness. I don't really know if I'm describing it properly, but it was one of, this has been like one of the worst years of my life. And, I was born in a family that was really like, you don't need to go see a doctor. You don't need medication. If we get a mental illness, you're still fine. Like, what's bipolarism? Like, it doesn't exist. And I have to say, like, truly, even though I went through a really, really hard year, I am like, it makes me cry because I am so grateful that I actually was just open to going to take care of myself. I was open to seeing like, I don't need to be on stimulants or non-stimulants or things healthier for my body. There is a cure for everything that happens to us. I am fixable. And I kept saying like, oh, I really am like grieving, like losing me. And I actually found me and better from leaving there. But I really wanted to make sure like my brain's okay, because this trauma was deep and I didn't want to revert back into anything, PTSD. I want to leave that in the past for real.
And it sounds like at that treatment center, they really made tremendous healing process.
Healing is number one, I would say.
In PTSD. And so kind of it's only been 2 days, right?
I know.
We were talking about, but it's like, we're just very brand new, fresh out of it.
Yes.
And so looking through a process, we also want to think about how to set you up for good success moving forward, right? So you have this life-changing experience and we want it to carry forward with you.
Yes, I'm there. I am there. I am ready to do this.
This is a sample scan looking at a healthy brain for a woman your age. And here we're looking at the outside surface of the brain. And then here we're looking at the internal activity.
Okay.
So again, these are sample scans. And on the SPECT scan, what we did is we gave you a little IV that has a radioisotope. That sends off a bright light signal. So everywhere you have good blood flow, it will send off a bright signal and fill in evenly. So on the rainbow colored scans, the colors don't matter. It's just the shape. So we're looking to see that the brain looks filled in, that everywhere has good blood flow. So if there's an area of low blood flow, it sends off less signal and it looks like a dent on the SPECT scan.
Okay, I'm really hoping my brain is involved.
So you want to see that you're
tell me now.
So you're going to be happy to see this. So this is your brain.
Okay, what's going on?
So we're going to talk about each part of the brain.
What does this mean?
That means there's a little 45% drop in blood flow, one little spot there.
Oh,
so
boy.
That's usually often a sign of head injury. So if you ever got hit on the top of the head, typically we see that there's like an isolated spot. Would I be more worried about if you had like Swiss cheese? That would, it's one hole, it's not 20 holes.
Oh my God, our heads are so delicate, aren't they?
But your MRI would probably be fine. Your anatomy is fine. You wouldn't see anything on the structure, but we see this little area of low blood flow and it looks like, okay, maybe that little, knock to the head would show up there, but it would be very mild.
Yeah.
Dr. Amen has done lots of NFL players. And so we've seen what a lot of, real significant head injuries and concussions look like when you have like repeated ones over time, where you get like more moderate or severe. These are very mild findings related to any concern for head injury. Your prefrontal cortex is responsible for focus, attention, concentration, decision-making, planning, and impulse control.
Well, geez, it really needs to start working better.
So it's your brakes. This is your filter. So low activity in the prefrontal cortex, we see mild, a little bit of denting here. So the top-down view looks pretty good. The underside view here is we see these little bit of dents here. So mild decreases in your prefrontal cortex. Your prefrontal cortex, when you have that low activity, can look like being easily distracted, difficulty completing tasks, struggling with time management or organization, poor concentration, and impulsivity.
Well, write me a prescription. There it is.
The prefrontal cortex gets better when it has dopamine or adrenaline. It likes to increase things that you're passionate about. So when you have a passion, it gives you that pleasure, that dopamine, and it's easier to focus on something and even get hyper-focused and really over-focused on something that you're passionate about. But
like writing for me, like I can write for hours, so I need to stop that.
But recognizing there's a vulnerability when you don't like something, it's 10 times harder to do it.
Oh my gosh, like I will straight up fall asleep in a test, and get kicked out. Like it's been bad.
And so looking at your prefrontal cortex, we want to harness your passion and let it work for you. And so that increases your focus and concentration. Also, there's a vulnerability towards procrastination because you get an adrenaline rush when there's a deadline and now it's midnight and you're working frantically at the last minute and pounding it out with great focus and concentration because you're under the adrenaline rush.
Yeah, like that is me. I'm not even going to start it until like hours before.
Right. And then what does that do for depression, anxiety, negative self-talk? The next day, stress and sleep.
So bad.
Right. So yeah, you pull it off, but at the expense of your sleep, your sanity, your depression, your anxiety. And, and why did I do this to myself again? Why did I wait to the last minute?
Like it's a vicious cycle. It's such a vicious cycle.
The next area are your temporal lobes. So that's this right here. And the right side looks pretty good, very mild decreases, but the left side is a little bit low. You can see this kind of indentation here.
I need to read about that.
So that's, looking at the sample one, you could see how it's a little more filled in, a little bit fuller. And so this is a bit of a decrease here in your temporal lobe, especially on the left. Your temporal lobes are responsible for a whole list of activities. So not everyone has 10 out of 10 symptoms related to the temporal lobe. Some people have 2 or 3 things off the list.
Okay.
So some of the main things your temporal lobes are responsible for is in charge of keeping your mood steady or even keeled. So low activity in the temporal lobes can look like irritability, waves of emotion, or anger.
Yeah, so I have been on and off mood stabilizers, and I really wish I didn't feel some kind of way sometimes. It really does make me feel like I'm like feeling a motherhood. I don't know. It's like, why am I even getting upset sometimes? Because I love being a mom. So that's just something that I've really complained about in my therapy sessions, and something I'm always really working on.
And that work, you can build progress with that in ways and strategies. And mood stabilizers do target your temporal lobes because they're anti-seizure medicines. They target GABA, which is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. So it's very calming. And in some conditions, you really do need a prescription if you have like a bipolar disorder. So to prevent mania, you need to take a medication that targets that, like an anti-seizure medicine that we use for mood stabilizing. But sometimes people just have some irritability or just these intense wave of emotion, and then oftentimes it crashes and you feel like drained afterwards.
Yeah, maybe that's what I was really feeling throughout this year with like trauma or something added. It was like my nerves are shot. Like, how can I get up from this?
So sometimes if you don't require a prescription, you could still benefit from a little natural supplement with some GABA. Because it is available as a natural supplement, just GABA. Not as potent and strong as taking a prescription, like anti-seizure medicine or mood stabilizer, but there are other things you can do to help improve your temporal lobes.
Okay, that's good to know.
that's looking at the outside surface of your brain, looking at the general health.
Yeah.
And then we look at the internal emotional activity. And so again, before we take a look at your scan, this one's a sample scan of kind of typical activity for women your age.
Okay.
And here the colors do matter. So blue is your baseline resting level of activity. Red is a little bit more blood flow and activity, and white is the most activity. So healthy scans, young brains are a bit active, so we kind of see a bit of scattered red. Very active in the back. Your cerebellum has 50% of your brain's neurons, so this should be pretty active back here, and a bit of scattered red.
All right, I'm hoping for a good brain.
Yes.
Oh boy, what do we got?
So this is your brain,
Okay.
and we do see a lot of activity in your thalamus. That is a relay center, and for some people, it's actually normal to have high activity in the thalamus here. When people do struggle with overactivity in the thalamus, sometimes they get struggling with like low motivation or feeling sad or depressed.
What else does this brain need? Just, tweak it with a vitamin, please.
So your physical activity and your sleep are really important for your brain.
I can't wait to sleep. I am due for sleep.
You already mentioned journaling.
Yes.
And so keep track of your sleep, pay attention to it, and make an effort at being purposeful to get a good 8 hours of sleep. That when you ask yourself, what's important to me? Where are my priorities? That's going to drive your decisions. So how you spend the time on what you're doing is based on what's important to you. So
Yes.
if you say my mental health is important to me, my well-being and my sleep is part of what I need to get there, then sleep becomes very important. You're not willing to sacrifice your sleep for other things.
And I'm just keeping it 100. When they asked me at our center when we're kind of trying to figure out our sleep patterns, I literally was like, I will stop. Like, I will sacrifice. Like, I do not need to date anyone. I do not need to go out to things. Like, because I don't want to sacrifice losing any more sleep, because I'm already, honestly, I'm already overworking just to try to kind of keep up with some people's everyday normal. And maybe that's why I'm slow at things. Maybe that's why I'm, it's really sad, but I need to just admit that. And, so I have put my own personal relationships on hold. I have canceled pretty much half of, or a lot of my year this year. And I'm still running ragged a little bit.
So take this transition for 30 days to track and write down every day how much sleep you get.
Yeah.
And then if you recognize, oh my goodness, that was 6 hours, that wasn't enough. You're shortchanging yourself.
Yeah, I'm getting so sad about it, but I shouldn't.
So you have laid the foundation and you've learned how to change your sleep. You know what to do now. You can start being just really intentional about getting good sleep so that you can have that focus. Your brain is not going to run well without enough sleep. So I can give you all the medications and supplements in the world, but if you don't have sleep, your brain is not going to work.
I hear you.
I do think another supplement that might be a really great fit for you is targeting that prefrontal cortex. It's called Focus and Energy.
Okay.
And so it has some ashwagandha, rhodiola, caffeine-free green tea.
Cool.
So there's no stimulants. It doesn't make you anxious or jittery, but it gives you that boost to feel more focused and productive.
Yeah. My body does not like caffeine right now.
Yeah,
so
there's no caffeine in it.
No caffeine. Okay.
Yeah. So I would do a combination of GABA and Focus and Energy to help you feel more calm and focused.
And do you have the Focus and Energy here? I'm going to just kind of look while I'm here.
Yeah.
So that's great.
And so what I usually recommend to people is to kind of stagger it. So take one for a week and then start the second one just to kind of not do it all at once.
Yeah, see what's...
Well, they're different, so we expect them to have different effects. But in case you get a headache or a reaction or something, then you know what it's connected to.
Okay.
And this has been awesome. It's really great to meet you. I'm excited about your future. I think that you have some great things in store for you. And I really enjoy getting to be part of your journey as you move forward in this new chapter.
Yeah, thank you for being a part of my journey. I cannot wait to see the progress. So I can't wait to go get my supplements and get going on it.